culture is more than just entertainment. It's a lens into society, relationships, and human behavior. I'm Grace, and here on the Grace Report, we dive into stories beyond the headlines. Whether it's reality TV drama, celebrity scandals, or royal family intrigue, I'm here to break it all down. What it means, why it matters, and how it reflects the world we live in. Join the conversation, share your take, and let's make sense of the culture shaping our lives one story at a time. Good morning, sunshine. It is nice to see y'all. I went for the updo today. You know what I love about these braids, I forgot what they're called, French curl braids or something like that, is even when you throw your hair up in like a little ponytail, like it feels a little bit extra just because there's like these fun little like waves coming out just to like make it pop a little bit. Y'all, it is so nice to see you again. Happy Wednesday. How are you feeling today? Hi, Allie. Is it snowing where you're at? Ooh, maybe it's time for a ski trip this weekend. Good morning, Houston Rose, Victory, Venetia, Cami, and everybody else who is tuning in and getting ready to say hello in the chat. Guys, do you hear that? That's the dog. She always does this. She minds her own business, super quiet, but as soon as I start talking, whether I'm filming a video or I'm talking on the phone with people, all of a sudden she gets thirsty. I hope you guys can hear it. It's so loud. And you know, every time she does it, I feel like Kate from John and Kate Plus 8, where she hears like the guy just sitting there breathing and like other people don't hear it, but she's like, oh my God, like, can you breathe any louder? Like that's me with her. That's her own little kind of funny little relationship situation that we've got going on, which I find to be so damn funny. Thank you, Stephanie. You know what I was looking at today? Idealista, some houses in España, you guys, because I am truly tired. I sent my appeal and I'm hoping that France accepts it and that we find a solution to this. Otherwise, I'm out. Thank you, Mrs. H. Good morning, Theo, and everybody else tuning in. Oh, it's about to snow, Allie. Oh, Lord. I'm sorry, girl. My condolences to you. The only thing I used to love about living in a place that snowed were the snow days, especially when my school was like an hour bus ride away. Like, we would have snow days all the time. We barely went to school during the winter, Lord. Teresa, I spent most of last year in the hospital, so this is my first live in almost a year. Teresa, I am so sorry to hear that you had such a difficult past year, but thank God you pulled through and you are doing better now. Hallelujah. Thank you so much for joining us. Wow, it is so nice to see you. Wow. Theo says my dog does the same thing when I work, right? Like, I swear they're here to piss us off sometimes. Did you guys, we talked about the Super Bowl halftime show yesterday, but some information came out after we did the morning report, you guys, and they spoke about how it was the highest viewed Super Bowl halftime show ever. And that actually surprised me because a lot of people, I know Kai Cenat, the streamer, for example, have been talking online about how, you know, the crowd didn't seem too hyped and like it wasn't as big of as a hyped crowd as Beyonce got, as Bruno Mars, Coldplay, as Usher got, etc. the weekend, but it was so well received online and everything. So I do think that it's still like a very successful halftime show. I think maybe it's just not the greatest audience that was there, right? Like the people who actually go to watch the Super Bowl shows are different from the people who enjoy Kendrick Lamar's music, like by and large, right? So I think it's more so that, and not a negative reflection on the way that he performed. I think he did a great job. So shout out to you, Kendrick. And East Awesome, you know what? I don't even know personally, because for me, I'm not even emailing a politician. They just sent me to this like appeals office to go ahead and email. So I got to do that for now. And then I'll let y'all know afterwards if there is anything else. But thank you so much for bringing it up. And you know what, Jaleesa, you're totally right. Because for example, let's talk about the Beehive, right? And the non-Beehive. So y'all, we talked about this yesterday, but I scored some tickets to Beyonce's show here in Paris. And a lot of people, when her album, Cowboy Carter, came out, they were talking about how it was a terrible album, her worst album. They don't like it. They wouldn't go watch her tour this album. They don't want to go to No Hoedown. But tell me why there were like 75 to 100,000 people queuing up in each city to try and get some seats to her show, right? The haters are always going to be the ones who come out in droves to try and see you. In fact, there's a certain longtime Beyonce hater here on the internet, whose name I will not mention, who got really excited and went to the Renaissance thing after years of hating on Beyonce. Haters love to go and see, right? And I think you're right too, Star. It was a lot bigger than just the music. And he did tell us that himself as well during the performance, right? The revolution will not be televised. You picked the right message, but the wrong messenger. Like, he let us know. Ronnie, thank you so much for popping by even for just a little bit. Y'all, we've got so much to talk about in today's morning report. Why don't we start off with some Bravo scoop, shall we? So Ashley Darby from the Real Housewives of Potomac is finally divorced from her creepy husband, Michael Darby. And I gotta say, I'm impressed that this even happened, because it was starting to look like they were just trolling in order for him to be able to, like, you know, be creepy in private without having to have his like actions become a storyline or anything like that. But lo and behold, they went ahead and did it and finalized their divorce. According to TMZ, the divorce was officially finalized just 2 days ago on Monday. So congratulations to Ashley on that. And I'm curious if we're going to see more strange photos or videos of Crocodile Dundee up to God knows what, now that he is truly, fully, and officially free. I do kind of think that maybe he slowed his roll because he saw just how big the effect was on his brand, right, when he was behaving that way. Because even if he is no longer filming for RHOP, he is forever going to be tied to RHOP and Ashley. And I also think that perhaps because he has young children now, I think in the past he didn't understand the impact or the viewership of the show, but now he knows, and he's got young children to protect. So I don't think that we're going to be seeing too much drama or nonsense from him moving forward. So thank God for that. Crumboule says that Ashley finally divorced from Golem. Fire emojis. East Awesome says you can Google the politician at expert. Okay, well, thank you. I'm going to take a look at this. Thank you, because I am tired. Your girl is tired. Ali says it took her long enough. I agree. Sherry says after how long? It's about time. I absolutely agree. This is why I think so many of us thought it was just like a random storyline, right? Like, come on now. It felt like she wasn't really even interested in moving the process along. But listen, she went ahead and did it. Guys, we've got a super chat from Caleb. Caleb, thank you so much for your super chat. Hang on, I got a little sound effect for you. Oh yeah, thank you so much. Caleb says, keep up the great work. That is so nice of you. Thank you. And thank you for watching. I do actually have a question for you and everybody else who is watching. And if you were part of my playback posse, my VOD squad, let me know in the comment section, right? Do you think that Ashley ultimately wound up signing some sort of an NDA? Because this was something that they were fighting about, right? For some godforsaken, stupid reason, when she caught him cheating the second time, he somehow manipulated her into being the person to sign over her rights to half of his property in like a revised post-nup, which I thought to be absolutely insane. If anything, he should have been signing to give her more after all of the public humiliation, right? Yet she signed that. And so she was going to be left with nothing. We saw her come to a reunion and talk about it, how she was initially going to get half, but then she signed a post-nup after he was caught cheating. That would leave her with like nothing, right? And then she later said that he wanted her to remain silent if she were to receive a substantial sum of money. And that is what they were fighting over in court. So now, with the divorce being finalized, I do believe that that is the case, but perhaps you guys have a different point of view. In which case, if you're watching live, let me know in the live chat, or if you're watching the playback, let me know in the comment section. Kambule says, Giselle apparently said Ashley received a nice settlement. Well, there you go. Is it a keep your mouth shut settlement? Because I would not be surprised. Tadisha says, I hope Ashley gets the pink slip or gets a better and real storyline for season 10, whichever comes first. I agree. You know what? Like, we've stretched this divorce for about 4 seasons now, and I think we're kind of good on it. Like, I like that she's dating this new guy, and in fact, they're actually still continuing to date. That was a really good speed dating event because even Giselle is still kind of seeing that man of hers, right? So I think it would be interesting to watch Ashley's relationship with like an age appropriate man continue to play out. Teresa says, not Golem. How dare y'all disrespect Golem this way? Listen, that man is just such a troll in every sense of the word. And I just love that people refuse to use his real name. Since we're on Bravo, did you see Lisa's comments on James or Allie? Oh my, listen, Jaleesa, there is a reason I call Lisa Vanderpump a geriatric pick-me. So for those of you who do not know, James Kennedy, he was he arrested or something for like allegedly getting physical with his girlfriend, Allie? His exes have come out and spoken about him allegedly getting physical with them. And then here comes geriatric pick-me, Lisa Vanderpump, to go on the record and claim that, no, this is not in James's character. He wouldn't have done anything like that to Allie. This woman does not like women. Y'all, she really, really doesn't. There's a reason why she decided to go and become business partners with the men instead of the women on the show. And one of those men never even worked for her. Tom Schwartz, he had one shift and he freaked out and left within hours. And yet she still put her name behind him to give him a damn bar. Oh, God. I love her house and all of the eccentricities that come with like her lifestyle. But she as a person is just hopeless, honestly. Michael didn't want those children. He only had them for Ashley. Ashley was having threesomes with Golem. When she had her children, she left him. Listen, she was playing the long game, right? The long con. She wanted the coin, and now she's got it. She's got that child support. We don't know exactly how much money she's getting in terms of child support, but I imagine it's rather substantial. And then on top of that, I think she signed some sort of an NDA, which is also going to be paying her. Giselle, someone mentioned how Giselle said she got a nice settlement. I'm wondering if you and I watched the same thing, because this is something that Giselle mentioned on Watch What Happens Live. Okay, so when asked how Ashley's divorce was going, Giselle had said that Ashley was going to be taken care of because a caller said she was going to be broke, right? Because of that thing that she signed with Michael. And Giselle, no. She is actually, she's good. She's got more money than everybody here except for Andy Cohen. But here's the thing. The people on the couch were Giselle Bryant, Robin, Brokey Dixon, and Andy Cohen. So the amount of money that Ashley got out of Michael could be anywhere from $500 to $20 million, right? So I don't know, right? I really do not know. That's not saying much. No offense to Giselle or Robin, but neither of them are particularly known for having that much money. So I don't know, but I do believe that she got a little bit of something. I think she's got a lot of leverage over Michael, and that it is in Michael's best interest to go ahead and pay her money. Now, speaking of Housewives, why don't we stay on this theme, y'all? Because we got to head over to the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. Did y'all watch the episode last night? We got to see a little bit more of Sutton Strack's mother, Reba. And this woman is just so deeply unpleasant. And I'm so amazed by her ability to just be that way to any and everybody, right? So every time Sutton has to interact with her, it makes me uncomfortable as a viewer, because you could tell she is terrified of this woman. At first, I thought she was kind of like putting it on or something, but it seemed to be rather authentic. Like every single time, like you would think this lady electrocuted her or something like that, and she's scared. And then even when her assistant, Avi, would be interacting with Reba, it was a nightmare. Reba is just unpleasant. And I do have to ask you guys about that. Do you think that Reba knows she's unpleasant and she leans into it, or is she just like blissfully unaware? Like, I've always wondered about people like that, because, you know, there are people, and I'm sure you know of them, right, where every single place they go, they have a problem. They say, oh, I don't like this school, this city, this job, because everyone is so this, so that. And it's always something negative, literally everywhere they go. Right? Then there are other people, hopefully you, where everywhere they go, they have a great time. People are nice to them. Like they do well. And I kind of feel like the people who just can't seem to find a place that like they're happy with. I think that they're Rebas and that they're blissfully unaware of just how off-putting they are. And that the reason why people are not that great to them is because she is just not, she or those types of people are just not pleasant to be around. Anyway, like Ali says, Reba is absolutely vile. And I agree. Like, I feel like she gets off on just really, really being a douche to people, right? And it's so sad to see. It's exhausting. I cannot imagine living life that way. Kambule is on season 2 of RHOBH, but I've seen clips of Sutton and her mother. The mother does not like Garcelle. And you know what? Speaking of her not liking Garcelle, I do have another question to ask you while I read up your questions about her and like whether, she knows she's unpleasant or not. But I do have to ask you, how did you feel about her interactions with Garcelle this episode? In episode 1, she made it a point to compliment Kyle's beauty in front of Garcelle after not saying anything about Garcelle's looks. And people just felt in general, there were like underlying hints of racism in her. In today's episode, she did compliment Garcelle. Garcelle said she looked good. She said that Garcelle did too. Then they had a private conversation where Garcelle told her, like, hey, this is what your daughter needs from you. And Reba said she doesn't think that's anything of Garcelle's business. What did y'all think about that? I got to be honest with you. I think she was kind of right that it's not really Garcelle's business, right? Like, you just met, so give it a little bit of time, and you don't know about all of the underlying issues like bubbling under the surface, right, in that relationship. But I will say, in Garcelle's defense, what was so beautiful about this episode to me was that you really got to see just how much she loves Sutton and how real and deep their friendship is, because she went and faced the dragon. That woman is hell on wheels, okay? She went up against her for her friend. She said, my friend is hurting. She needs you to do this. She needs you to acknowledge that. And she said that to this woman, right? Knowing that it could make the rest of the state even more uncomfortable for her because the woman already was rather rude to her. And I think Garcelle is a very, very special kind of friend that we could only hope to have in life. So shout out to her for that. But I did feel like it's a little bit too soon, maybe wait a little bit more, get to know her a little bit more over more time before you kind of try to dig into people's family dynamics. I feel like probably my mother, would have behaved the same way or reacted the same way. She's a nice lady. She's a bubbly lady. But like, if you get into her and try to tell her how to parent her kids or this or that, oh, the fangs will come out. So I do understand Reba's response to all of that. I will also say that Garcelle saying that she thinks that Reba is so rude or cold to Sutton is because she's jealous of Sutton's relationship that she had with her father because Sutton was a daddy's girl. I kind of felt like that too was a little bit overstepping, right? Because we don't know. And at the end of the day, the only thing that we know for certain is that Reba is just unpleasant, period. She doesn't like anybody. She doesn't treat anybody kindly. So is she jealous of everybody or is she just a douche? I think she's just a douche. I'm sorry. And it feels weird to be calling this, old lady a douche, but I think that that's what she is, just an unpleasant, miserable person. And I think it's actually astounding that she is even some sort of a social worker or a psychologist type thing or a counselor, because she's the one who needs intensive treatment, right? And to think she's out here counseling people, scary stuff. Theo says, I think Reba kept trying to crack jokes because she knew she was coming across badly. And good for her, because she really needed to. Like that, she looked so toxic. And like Ali said, so damn vile, right? And so it really seems like a lot of you guys think that she knows that she's an asshole and that she basically thrives off of it. And I just can't imagine. Like, do you guys ever have that where sometimes you're just having a bad day and then someone comes at the wrong moment and you're actually like accidentally rude to them or something because you're just at the end of your rope, and then you feel bad about that and you think about that interaction forever? Like, that's me when I'm really rude to people, right? So just to imagine that this woman lives her day-to-day life this way, and she sees people, and I'm cutting ahead here. We're going to get into the scene, but look at the way everyone is running away, right? Everyone is terrified. Like, I would be so sad if that were the way that people reacted to me. I truly would, and just to think that she thrives off of that, like, that is scary. That's weird. East Awesome says, I gagged when I discovered she was a therapist. She is choosing to be awful to her child. I agree, right? Brittany says, I don't know who Reba is, but she does look vile from that photo alone. Girl, buckle up. She is Sutton Strack's mom. And she is just, wow. At first, again, I thought Sutton was exaggerating and she was putting on for the cameras, but like that lady truly is awful. Like she is woof, okay? Sherry resided in Augusta, Georgia, and would hate to run into Reba. Reba rubbed me the wrong way with her hug with Garcelle, but had no issue with Kyle's hug and saying she was beautiful. Oh, Lord, there you go, right? And thank you. We've got boots on the ground reporting. We've got our reporter, a live reporter, Sherry, sharing with us, you know, what it's like over there. My God, like that's sad. But on the other hand, when you think about some of the things that were said about her on TV, like Garcelle saying she was jealous of her daughter's relationship with her, you know, deceased father. And then now we've got Sutton, who said that she kind of blames her mom for her dad's passing. She's like, my mom knew he was medicating with alcohol. She knew he was taking all of these prescriptions and stuff for his depression. And she knew that there was a loaded GUN in the house. So, you know, what did she think was going to happen? I said, oof, that's harsh. And can I tell y'all, speaking of alcohol in that house, do you think that Reba kind of might be low-key self-medicating? Because one thing I noticed about her was from the moment she got up and we saw her all this episode, she was never without a glass of alcohol in her hand. So I kind of wonder if she too is traumatized, if she too has some sort of PTSD, if she too has some sort of depression and stuff from the passing of her husband. I think she's got a lot of pain, and maybe this is how the pain is manifesting, which is why, you know, just some of these comments that were said about her on television kind of make me feel sad for her. You know, like when Sutton says that she kind of blames her mom. Listen, at the end of the day, they had this GUN because it was the norm for that area, I guess. And maybe she thought that the guy was taking all of these like antidepressants and stuff because you know, he was trying to get help and trying to live and to survive for his kids. I personally I wouldn't go there in blaming somebody, you know, for somebody else's decision to take their own life. I feel like that was really, really harsh. And Sutton knew that it was harsh when she said it. And you can tell that she instantly regrets it, you know. And I remember hearing something, I believe it was on TikTok, where people said that sometimes we have to be a little bit nicer with our parents, even though like we've got ugly relationships with them sometimes. You got to remember that it's their first time living too, and that they're from a completely different generation. And in her generation, she explained it a little bit, right? Which was that like there is no comfort or anything. When, you know, babies cried in that era, like when she was a baby in that era, you were left alone. You just cry it out basically, right? And then no one ever complimented her in life, this and that. It sucks that she feels like, okay, just because I grew up this way, this is the way I have to be with everybody, despite the times changing. But yeah, it made me kind of sad. See, Petty says she's so mean. Farrah says she could not be my therapist. Farrah also says she hasn't met her match yet. And I agree with that. Can you imagine her meeting her match? Abby says she is harsh, but if she's a therapist, you know, alcohol and depression is a dangerous combination. I think you're right too. I just really hate that that was said on television. Like that's a really, really harsh statement to make, but so much trauma in Sutton's family. You know, and it's so interesting, you know, because when you see these people on TV without knowing the background, you think, wow, look at her life. She gets $300K a month from her ex-husband. She lives in this beautiful house. She's got everybody to do everything for her. Doesn't need to lift a finger. She can have like a boutique down in Beverly Hills, all sorts of things. She's living the life. But then you peel back those layers and you see all of the trauma, the generational trauma in her family, like that is stuff that I would never covet, you know? So that's what I appreciate about this show. It really teaches you that all that glitters is not gold, whether it's someone's marriage or upbringing or anything like that. Now, speaking of marriages, real quick, last thing on Reba. This is her dog, y'all. This lady has this dog. And you know what? I do have to say their hair is a little bit similar. Her dog is beautiful. She is so elegant. She looks like the dogs in those like commercials and the like purebred dog shows. Her name's Dixie, and she is absolutely adorable. Now let's get into marriages. We got to talk about Dorit Kemsley. So she sat down with Bose and Erica, and she told them about this 180 that PK suddenly did, making him really, really nice to her and everything. And so the girls were saying, no, 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 this is the calm before the storm, Dorit. He does not want to get back with you. He is not genuinely being nice. What he's doing is trying to make you think that everything is okay, while he most likely runs around behind your back in town, having meetings with all divorce lawyers so that none of them will be able to work with you. You all ever see that movie Marriage Story? How one of the things that the guy did or the girl did was go and meet with every lawyer just for funsies. They already knew which one they were going to take. And then when you meet with lawyers, the other person cannot be represented by them. It's a conflict of interest. So that could potentially be something that PK is up to. But listen, as of now, that divorce still has not been filed. So maybe, just maybe, they're trying to work it out behind the scenes. Do you think that we're going to be able to, do you think we're going to be privy to that sort of information at the reunion? Some sort of a little bit of a pop-up or something like that, letting us know that they've worked things out or they are choosing to stay separated instead. Again, I think that it's in PK's best interest, not Dorit's best interest, to stay married for those 10 years. That way she could be responsible for half his debt and potentially pay him some sort of spousal support, because listen, that man does not have no damn money. Okay. It's Dorit bringing in the big bucks right now. His only client was Boy George. And you tell me the last time Boy George did anything worth writing home about. Don't worry, I'll wait. By the way, Thea says that Reba reminds me of the people from Get Out. She does have that very, very eerie, creepy, just negative energy. So we talked about how Garcelle is such a great friend, but this moment here, right, where Garcelle and Kyle are listening in intently as Reba is just being an asshole to Sutton, was so insane. Like, you could not fake these reactions. Everybody is terrified of that woman. There's so many of you in the chat who are saying that you didn't watch RHOBH, so you don't know Reba, but like, just take a look at the way people react to her, right? Look at these facial expressions. Sutton comes around the corner. Everybody runs in opposite directions. They are panicking because of all of the stress out there in the air. Garcelle, look at her face. She's like, are you okay, Sutton? Like, as if Sutton just went off to war. You see Kyle pretending to just come down the stairs, even though she was listening in. And then in the little left corner there, you see Avi, her assistant, peeking out. Like, that is the type of reaction that this woman elicits everywhere she goes. They even asked the nanny to go, all she had to do was say, go to the little house, see Reba, come on, let's have some lunch. And the lady, she was like, oh God, me. And she goes, she says, are you ready? And Reba responds super rudely. And the lady just rolls her eyes. She's like, yeah. Like, I can't imagine being this way and having people react to me this way. It's disturbing. This woman is weird AF. Anyway, let's get off the RHOBH. Let's get into Taylor Swift, y'all. Taylor Swift, she didn't win anything at the Grammy. She walked away empty-handed for her Tortured Poets Department album, which, sorry, not sorry, but was absolutely awful. But she did win in the hearts of the servers working there that night. Take a look at this recently released video of her walking out of the Grammy Awards and giving out some big, fat, juicy tips to some of the workers. Thank you so much for all your hard work. How cool is that? You know, it doesn't occur to me all that often, but when I watched that video, the first thing that I said was, you know, you don't really see celebrities handling money too often, right? Outside of reality TV, typically like someone else is handling it for them, right? Like, they're making the purchases, they're pointing to this, that, and the other, and somebody is making sure that that money goes there. Right. So it's really cool to see her walking around with her own money, handing it out to the people. So kudos to you, Taylor Swift, for doing that for people. I think it's absolutely amazing. And I'm sure they were super happy. In fact, I imagine some people even maybe like framed the money that she personally gave to them and might go ahead and sell it. Right. Like, this touched Taylor Swift's hands. There are people out there who would pay millions for a $1 bill that Taylor Swift touched. So that was kind of cool. Did you guys know that TMZ is airing now their documentary called Saving Wendy. And this photo that I have been using on my channel actually comes from it. I've got a video clip that I want to tee up to share with you guys. So basically, Harvey Levin, the head honcho over at TMZ, did an interview with Wendy, and it is just so jarring to see it play out like that she is doing the interview. They've got a camera trained from the outside on her window, and she is just pacing around for this interview. Like, honestly, this is just some groundbreaking television. It's free, by the way, if you want to go ahead and watch it on Tubi. But go ahead and take a look at this trailer that they posted. I hope it doesn't trigger any kind of blocking or whatever, but let's give it a try.
Tell me what your life has been like over the past year. What is it like?
Isolated. Where I am is this place where the people are older, you know what I'm saying? They are in their 90s and their 80s. I eat lunch and dinner in my bedroom. I don't eat out there with the people that live here just because it's so goddamn depressing. There's a bathroom, there's a closet, and the TV, which was purchased by me through the Guardian person.
Are you allowed to go out?
No, I am not allowed to go out. I can call you, but you can't call me.
What about communications? Do you have an iPad or some form of a computer?
I have not. Listen, I've asked the Guardian person for an iPad since years, it seems like, but an iPad. Can I please have my telephone back? Can I please be able to call, my family? What is the problem with me calling and talking to friends of mine? They're not allowed to come in here, friends of mine. You know what I'm saying?
Over the last, say, 30 days, how much time have you been able to spend outside in the fresh air?
In the last 30 days, I went out twice for my teeth. You know what I'm saying? And that would be that.
Wendy, I gotta say, even people who are in prison for murder get an hour a day outside, and you've only been outside in fresh air twice in the last 30 days?
Yes.
Wendy, we are privy to some of the court documents, and your guardian's name is Sabrina Morrissey. And here's what the judge said in this case. The guardian, that's Miss Morrissey, is to permit Wendy as much independence as is practical. This sounds more like a prison than independence.
Hell yeah. Listen, this system has failed. This system has failed from top to bottom regarding this guardian and everybody involved with that. The system has failed. I want my freedom back. How about that?
So there it is. She sounds very lucid, very with it. So what is the reason for putting her under this sort of arrest, it feels like Harvey Levin said, and mind you, although he is the founder of TMZ, which is a gossip website, he also is a licensed attorney, right? And so he's saying, listen, in my opinion, as someone who has studied the law, you have even less freedoms than some convicted murderers. And that is absolutely insane. Again, even if Wendy Williams had dementia, what would justify keeping her in a place like this against her will, not allowing her to have proper communication with family and friends, not allowing her proper access to being outside even? Like, that is just insane. So for those of you who might have missed out on yesterday's morning report episode, but we talked, or maybe it was Friday's, we talked about how Wendy's conservator it had filed for her to get another second opinion on whether or not she's got dementia, and how her court-appointed attorney just filed or is about to file to get the guardianship terminated. And I don't want to get your hopes up too much, because you've got to remember that all of these people kind of are in cahoots together. So the attorney is someone that she had tried to fire. It's not someone that she ever hired personally to fight for her. right? This is someone that the courts hired. So that's already, to me, sketchy. And then her conservator is petitioning a judge who the conservator already put money on her books for, or in her pockets for, right? In exchange for being named Wendy's conservator. So the whole thing, I don't know. I think that this is a performance that they're doing. I think that unfortunately, they most likely are going to reject the plea and claim that everything is as it should be, which I find to be rather disturbing. Feisty Canadian says, what has happened to Wendy happened to my mother-in-law. Her daughter took her phone and other devices, and she had no way to contact anyone. We since found out she also cleaned out her bank account. Oh, ouch, ouch, ouch. I am so sorry to hear that. And, you know, it feels like that is what they're trying to do to Wendy right now too, right? Like when she was on the Breakfast Club, she said that she only had access to like $50 in her pocket. And why is that? How is that, right? And Feisty, can I just ask you, since your profile says that you are Canadian, is your mother-in-law Canadian as well? Like that happened in Canada? Like this isn't just a thing that happens in the US? Meanwhile, East Awesome says it sounds like they placed Wendy in a normal high-end U.S. nursing home. My dad was in one. They would accidentally wash his cell phone when he annoyed them. And how many times do you see videos like this, right? Of like elderly people being abused, manhandled and whatnot, even hit in elderly care homes. Like what happens there is an atrocity. And, you know, I hate that some people are forced to live in those sorts of homes. It's not good. And so whether or not you personally like Wendy and like what it is that she did, how she reported the news or whatever, but I don't think that should come into play about whether or not you can feel empathy for her. And I think that, you know, even from a selfish perspective, that should worry you as a person, that this can potentially happen to you. If it can happen to someone as rich and as powerful and as visible as Wendy, who is able to call out the system on this level, it most certainly can happen to you, you know? Summer Breeze says Bruce Williams has dementia, but nobody exactly, you know, this is something that we definitely have mentioned before. You know, it seems like this is something that they use to target women specifically. Look at Kanye West, the way he is spiraling, crashing out, praising all sorts of just disturbing ideas and like Nazism and terrorists like what's his name, Adolf Hitler and whatnot, yet nobody is rushing to get him committed or anything like that. It's a very, 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 very sexist system. Okay. And yes, Star, I'm going to go ahead and star this so that I can, pun intended, so I can go ahead and watch it. In fact, I'm going to put this in I'm going to take a picture of this so that I could put it in my Netflix watch list, because you did mention this movie before and I didn't get to watch it, but I definitely want to watch it, you know, just because I want to have a deeper understanding of what exactly it is that is going on here and why they think that it is justifiable. Now, you guys, we are about to go on a commercial break soon, but before we head over there, why don't we talk about Ryan Edwards? And if you are enjoying this stream, do not hesitate to go ahead and give it a thumbs up so YouTube knows that you enjoy my content. So Ryan Edwards, y'all, he has officially been ordered by a judge to pay his ex, or his estranged wife, I should say, Mackenzie Standifer, some child support. And Mackenzie has also been fighting for his against his fiance and latest baby mama, Amanda Connor, being able to spend time around the kids that she has with Ryan. And the judge said, absolutely not. Amanda should and is now legally able to spend time around Ryan's two kids, Jagger and Stella. And I got to say, listen, it makes sense. He and Amanda have been together for over a year now. Amanda has shown no signs of being like a dangerous person to the children. The two of them are also engaged to be married, even though he's still married to Mackenzie, whatever. But she is pregnant with Ryan's, latest child. So obviously they are going to be spending a lot of time together, and it's impractical to expect for Ryan to spend time with his other children away from this woman particularly. It's just, you know, he needs to be there for her and the new babies. Mind you, Ryan only spends about 26 days a year with his children that he has with Mackenzie Standifer. I don't know how many he spends with Bentley, but he's barely even there. So in my opinion, listen, it's only 26 days out of the year. The woman isn't dangerous to your kids or anything like that. So you kind of got to suck it up at this point, you know? Again, this is why you got to be careful about who you're having kids with. Why are you having not one, but two kids with a well-documented crackhead, and deadbeat. You know, that's on you at the end of the day. So hang on, you guys, give me one quick second. I've got an email coming up. So shout out to the Ashley for breaking this story. The article says, and I quote, "The judge used the hearing to rule on several topics that the estranged exes have been legally battling over, including the motion for contempt that Ryan filed against Mackenzie earlier this month and their disagreement about Ryan's pregnant fiance, Amanda Connor, being allowed around Jagger and Stella. According to court documents obtained by the Ashley, the judge granted Mackenzie's request that Ryan be made to pay child support for their 2 children. And he's actually only going to be paying them $15.53 per month. Mind you, he makes $16,000 a month, and this is for 2 children. So I feel like it's a little bit low based off of what he's making and the amount of children that she needs to look after and how little time he spends with them. If you're only seeing these kids 26 days out of the year, you got to pay the F up, in my opinion. You should be paying more than someone who's got them 30, 40% of the time. Okay. Now, the court order states that the amount of child support that Ryan will pay could change after testimony of the parties regarding past and current income. So right now it's still kind of up in the air. Amanda is also permitted to participate in father's visitation with minor children, as we mentioned. And the contempt that Ryan wants Mackenzie to be held under, you know what? We're going to get into that on the pause, okay? I've got someone coming in to deliver something. So sorry, you guys. Give me a second. I'm going to hand off this package, and I will see you on the flip. Give me a quick little moment. We've got a word from some of our sponsors, y'all. Where is it? The Morning Report is brought to you by Philo. Watch your favorite shows and movies from over 70 different channels, including MTV, TLC, WeTV, and more for only $28 a month. Get a free trial today by clicking the link in the description box of this video to get your free trial up and running. Are you looking for the perfect skincare products for women over 30? Look no further than Rothia. Rothia is a skincare brand born from love and made for parents. Their flagship product, the Resilience Cream, delivers clinically proven age prevention benefits such as average 14% wrinkle reduction after 4 weeks of use. Click the link below and receive 30% off your first purchase today. All right, they're not yet up, but I'll play the Taylor Swift video when they come up. So basically, when it comes to the contempt, Ryan is saying that Mackenzie sold or got rid of some of his items against his wishes. So they're power tools, just like lawnmowers, things like that he wanted to keep at the house. And it seems like he wants her to go to jail or something like that, which I think would be absolutely ridiculous, even for him, because again, these kids hardly know him. He only spends about 3 weeks a year with them. And now he's got another child on the way. So someone who already barely knows his other children, right? Now suddenly having to spend 24/7 with them, in addition to a newborn, right? And his baby mama's other child, it's just a little bit too much. So yes, maybe it sucks that Mackenzie got rid of some of your stuff, but at the end of the day, it's your own fault, Ryan, that you even got kicked out of that house. And, you should be thanking your lucky stars that you were not even arrested, and kept in jail for a reasonable amount of time. Yeah, he faced some sort of charges, but they all got dropped or very heavily downgraded, right? So that he could avoid really, truly being held accountable for what he did. So I'm personally Team Mackenzie. I would have thrown out all of his stuff too if I were her. So go Mackenzie, right? Like Jessica says, pick your partners well if you do not want to have these kinds of headaches in your life. Yep, Ramster says it's not okay what happened to Mackenzie, but she knew who she was getting involved with. Ladies, we got to stop thinking we're special. We're going to change people who have proven to be bad people. And these girls who go get with these people from TV, they're lucky that there's proof, there's video that, you're not, because it's very easy for someone to manipulate you, right? And say, my ex is crazy, my ex is this, and maybe you might believe it. But when it's documented that the person never cared to actually be involved with their child and this, that, and the other, come on now, come on. Now, we do have another teen mom story that I want to get into. We've got Janelle Evans and August, aka David Miranda. Shout out to OK Magazine for this, because as much as this guy wants to kind of like act like he didn't care about Janelle at all or anything like that, like he was going on this massive rampage against Janelle to her mother, Barbara, who doesn't really have that much contact with Janelle anyway. So it seems to me like, you know, he was rather personally affected by the breakup, and he wants to cause a lot of pain to Giselle. Why do I keep saying Giselle? To Janelle via her mother. So take a look at some messages that he had sent to Barbara. He said, "Your stupid daughter just did exclusives with the media to continue to lie about me. That is one stupid person. I'm sorry you've been having to deal with that type of character. It's pathetic. Fighting with me and Marissa publicly, attacking us both and threatening us both while she's in the wrong, while going through a divorce and custody battle. How effing dumb can she be? I can file a federal felony against her for hacking and wiping my phone, and she will lose." Hang on, you guys. Give me one quick second. Okay, you guys? Give me one quick second. I think that's the door. It's okay, this Sage. No. Okay. Okay. And now the doggy, she's freaking out. She's like, oh my God, am I going to get kidnapped? Okay, so where did I go? Okay, so I could file a federal felony against her for hacking and wiping my phone, and she will lose. The police department already gave me my assigned FBI agent's phone number to just push the button. I won't do it right now for Ensley, but when is your pesty daughter going to stop her effing attacks? I recorded when I went over there to pick up my stuff because obviously she's a threat, so it's legal. And I asked her two things. Do you have bags in this room? And how are you? Are you okay? I didn't say hi nor bye, and I told her not to speak to me or even look at me if I went. She just did an exclusive interview saying I have been trying to get back with her, and I tried that day. Her lies are just beyond anything I've ever seen. And so it's just this whole thing where they go on and on. And it feels like it's a little bit too much based off of like the actual situation. You know what I mean? To me, it kind of feels like if it were just like a little bit of a blip in the radar, maybe, you know, you would kind of just wipe your hands clean and move on. But when it's such a big thing that has such a big effect on you, you react in this sort of a way. And that's what we're seeing, right? It's a downplaying, but you don't crash out on this level and say all of this if you did not care. I think that August did fall for Janelle. I think that he was in love with Janelle as well, and that he is going through it just as bad as she's going through it. He also said to her, and again, shout out to OK Magazine for this, and she just asked me to go to the house yesterday, and I said, F no, I will never step foot in that house again. If she doesn't care about herself, make her care about Ensley and those kids. She's just ruining her reputation even more, because nobody believes her, not the people that matter to her career. So all of this is just so ugly, okay? It's one thing to have your breakup, right? But then to go to your ex's parent, even if that person is estranged from their parent, right? And to write this with this level of vitriol is absolutely insane. To me, this is a symbol of you being just as toxic as the person that you were trying to tell everybody is toxic, right? And I'm not saying that Janelle is not a toxic person. We already know that she is a toxic person as well. But these messages to Barbara were too much. What did he think Barbara was going to say? Did he think that Barbara, just because she's got beef with Janelle personally, was going to go and kiki with him at the expense of her own daughter? Like, her only response was, hey, go to the porch and pick up your stuff. That's it, you know? And then he responded to that with this other, like, you know, just dramatic thing about how he's going to call the FBI, this, that, and the other. It is too damn much. And mind you, his girlfriend or his side chick, Crystal or whatever, apparently she is trying to get Janelle arrested for throwing out her mail. I don't know how her mail was even being delivered to the home that Janelle was staying in. I guess maybe it was Janelle was not staying with August at her house, but at August's house. And because this is his other girlfriend or something like that, she was having her mail delivered there. And out of spite, I guess Janelle threw it out. But it kind of feels like, listen, the police, they've got bigger fish to fry than this nonsense that y'all have going on, okay? Like the little coupon that you've got from Auntie Anne's pretzels being thrown out. I don't think they're going to go prosecute someone for that. Not that it's right or anything to throw that sort of thing out, but I think they've got bigger issues. Okay, you guys, like, come on now. Summer Bree says he is a documented drug. Exactly. Oh, you didn't know that? Wait, are you talking about August or are you talking about Ryan? Because the answer is both to yes. Actually, no, not to August, but to Ryan for short. Teresa says, I will always look at Mac funny because she married the man while he was unconscious. Yes. And after he kissed his mom on the mouth too, Lord. Mrs. H says, does August have a criminal record? He actually does. Listen, no one with a clean record, no one with a proper job, no one with a proper functioning brain would get with Jenelle Evans, right? And that's why she's only pulling this caliber of man, right? Nice to see you. Check this out. By the way, you guys, if you are enjoying this stream, please make sure to go ahead and give it a thumbs up so that YouTube knows that you enjoy my content and you continue to see more videos like it. We go live with the morning report every single weekday morning at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So also make sure to set an alarm for tomorrow's episode that's already pre-programmed. Amy says, I think Janelle secretly wants to go back to Nathan. Oh, you're down bad when you are pining to go back with the town strangler. The man strangles everybody, including his own damn sister. I would be terrified of that man. Didn't he also catch a charge for allegedly putting the paws on Janelle? I sincerely hope that she does not want to. Even David didn't strangle people, didn't strangle her at least. Like Nathan, oh my God. Imagine, you guys. Imagine. And this is such a bad would you rather, but I'm just thinking for myself out loud, would I rather take a punch or get strangled? I think I'd rather take a punch. The person strangling people is terrifying. Truly, truly terrifying. So I hope, Amy, that that's not what she wants to go back to. Janelle always finds the wrong guys. Yeah, and I think it's because Janelle is the wrong girl, too. She's never going to find the right guy until she cleans up her act. Thank you, Brandon. Brandon says Janelle needs to get her life together already. I agree. And I wish she would take the time to get her life together, but she is more focused on finding the next guy. She just cannot be alone. And right, Hamlets? Why is he constantly bringing up her daughter? Again, this is why you do not let these random men around your children so soon. It's creepy, his fixation on her child, right? You've got to be very, very vigilant and very, very careful, you guys. It is bad. It's ugly, okay? Oh, Lord. I just always feel like my head is spinning when I'm talking about Janelle's life. I don't know how the hell she manages to live like this and show no signs of wanting to change. Let's move on to something a little bit more upbeat, shall we? Love is Blind season 8. We're only 2 days away from it. And I love that I already know how y'all are going to be watching it, because we did do a morning report episode about this where I asked, is it kind of bothersome to you that it's debuting on Valentine's? Are you doing something else for Valentine's? And you guys, whether you're single, dating, married, you said, listen, my relationship status is not going to impede on me binging on this show. And I absolutely love that for y'all. And I love that for me too. Let me go ahead and put up a picture of the girls from this year's Pod Squad. I wanted to go ahead and give you guys the episode schedule, okay, so that you know what to expect. So week 1 of episodes are going to drop on February 14th. We're going to get episodes 1 through 6. And then the next drop of episodes is going to take place from February 21st. And we're only going to get 3 episodes, 7 through 9. Then on February 28th, we are going to get episodes 10 and 11. And episode 12 is the wedding, right? The wedding's on March 7th. So every single Friday from February 14th is when we're going to be getting these episodes. So there will be 4 drops, you guys. Okay, so 1 full month of Love is Blind. And I'm really looking forward to it, you guys. I am. I know I'm supposed to watch Love is Blind Habibi. I'm supposed to finish Love is Blind Argentina, but I'm a little bit Love is Blinded out. And then when I get into Love is Blind USA, the new drop that comes, then I will go ahead and finish Argentina. I think I only have 3 episodes. And then in between the first and second drop, I will get into Love is Blind Habibi. I know a lot of you guys truly, truly love that. And so I definitely want to be able to get in there with you guys as well. And speaking of East Awesome Love is Blind being messy, just know, and because it is February, the first Love is Blind that drops for the year is always the best Love is Blind of the year. They do 2 American drops per year. The first one is the best because, and according to Natalie and Deep T from season 2, I believe it is, they've got their own podcast where they recap this and other reality shows like The Perfect Match, which, by the way, when is a new season of that dropping? Yeah, they said that they do that because it's for Emmy consideration. You cannot put up, shows for Emmy consideration past a certain date. And so obviously they want to have their best content out there. Speaking of the Emmys, I've got a bone to pick because I wanted so badly for the second season of Squid Games to win Emmys. It was so damn good, but unfortunately it came out too late to be eligible for the Emmys that we had last year. And so they missed out on that, which I found to be rather depressing. While we're on the topic of Squid Game, is there going to be a 3rd season? Because I absolutely would love that. Y'all, please. And I know some of y'all weren't feeling it too much, but come on. For the Squid Game lovers, please, please do let me know if that is going to be happening. Now, you guys, we do have one final story, but real quick, before we get into the story, I want to double back to Stephanie's comment here about, actually, before I get into you, Stephanie, my darling, let's get into Houston Rose and Mrs. H saying that maybe Kiefer would be the best guy for Janelle. Listen, that guy is not bad either. Well, he's her only one that is not terrible, right? He's jobless and he's aimless and he's got a meth lab, but at least he doesn't strangle people or shoot and off 10-pound dogs. So there's that. But remember, when they broke up, wasn't Janelle calling him the N-word? So I would hope he would not take her back. Like, that girl is woof. Okay. Stephanie said, Habibi was really good. You should also check out Love Never Lies South Africa. I did, because Zoe was South African and she had suggested this to me. So I did, and I went ahead and watched a couple of episodes. I actually did and recap it in some of my earlier morning reports as well. The South Africans, they're such good reality stars. And their season of Ultimatum was one of my favorites as well. I love South African reality TV. Theo says, a 3rd season of Squid Games premieres this June. Oh, God. Oh, my God. I could cry happy tears. I needed a win today, Theo, and you absolutely delivered it for me. So thank you so, so much. Sarah says, after the whole Ashley and Tyler thing, I'm skeptical about seasons going forward. And listen, I do not blame you at all because I kind of feel the same way. And we already know, Farah and everybody else watching, that some girls who were dating some of these guys on the show or got dumped for the guys to go on the show, they've already gone on TikTok and spoken about it. And this is something that was even featured in some of the trailers. So there's going to be more mess. And I hate that for us. I truly, truly do. East says the Squid Game creator didn't make much money from Squid Game 1. That's why he agreed to Squid Game 2. Oh, I didn't know that. Not Netflix scamming that guy. That was their most successful, original program, wasn't it? Right? Since Orange is the New Black. How terrible that he didn't make a lot of money on that. That sucks. That absolutely sucks. Listen, Luz, he's definitely not a catch either, but you got to take what you got to get when take what you can get when you're Janelle and you're not willing to do any inner work, right? Ken says, I will not be watching Love is Blind season 8. It's gotten too messy and casting sucks. Listen, I hear you. A lot of you guys seem disillusioned with Love is Blind, and I've got to say, I totally understand you guys' reservations about it, and I do agree with you guys' reservations, but I'm kind of a dodo bird in that, I'm always going to hold out hope that, it's going to be better, to me, I look at Love is Blind as a hot stove, I touched it, it burnt me. But maybe next time I touch this hot stove, it won't burn me. I'm just hoping for that one time that it does not burn me. So I will be tuning in, and I hope that you guys are going to be looking forward to some recaps from that as well, because I definitely will be up there for that. And I'm glad that you love Squid Game too, Vera. It is such a good show. Oh my God, it gives me heart palpitations. Kristen's looking forward to the new season of Love is Blind. Okay, good. I'm happy we're going to have some Love is Blind peeps in the audience. Now, guys, our last story of the day. Once again, if you have been enjoying the morning report, don't forget to go ahead and give the stream a thumbs up so that YouTube knows that you had a great time. Damn. A$AP Rocky. We all know that he is currently on trial for pulling a gun on his friend. Didn't he pull the trigger too? Didn't he try to shoot his friend? And that trial is just messy. The last time I heard an update about this before yesterday's update was that they were in court, and one of the prosecuting attorneys asked the witness, "What does this abbreviation stand for?" ASAP, ASAP, or something like that. And ASAP, who is on trial in front of these in front of the judge, in front of the entire courtroom, he tells his friend not to say what the abbreviation was. And I said, how is it that we're not hearing anything about this man, being now charged with witness intimidation? Because to me, that were obstructing a proceeding or something like that. Because to me, that was a clear cut and dry case of just something you should not be doing and something that should have consequences, right? Like, a man who allegedly pulled a gun on you and allegedly shot you is sitting there trying to tell you what you can and can't say about, your association with him. That is scary stuff. So, to the surprise of absolutely nobody, it was made official yesterday by A$AP himself that he will not be taking the stand and testifying during this trial, which it's in his best interest, and it's par for the course for defendants in these sorts of cases. So there's no surprise there. But yeah, not good, y'all. Not good at all. Rihanna, I hope your man, I don't know. I almost said I hope your man doesn't go to jail, but shouldn't people go to jail for doing this sort of thing? I don't want this to impact Fenty Beauty. That selfishly, I'm like, okay, well, are we going to have a hard time getting product launches out? Because you got to be the mom and the dad because your man's going to be in jail or something, because her products are good and I need them to keep on coming, is she the one packing them in the warehouse? Because I want her to keep going to the warehouse and sending those things out. They're great. You know what? Hang on. I'm going to have to look up A$AP Rocky abbreviation courtroom. Because maybe the abbreviation was not ASAP or something like that. Okay. Oh, sorry. Yes, Theo, the abbreviation was AWGE. And I don't know what that stands for. And one of the lawyers asked for it to be explained, and Rocky told the person, sitting there in the witness box, no, don't say it. And they kind of just carried on like business as usual, which I find to be absolutely insane. The power that this man has, right? Wild. A$AP has billionaire resources. He has bots all over the internet mixed with Rihanna fans advocating for him by attacking Rally. Isn't that sad though? How much these people get away with? All you need is a little bit of money and a powerful baby mama and you are invincible. Her new line will be Fenty X Jailbait. Oh, Lord have mercy. Fenty X Iron Bars. Oh, Lord. Maybe they're going to make a special Fenty soap. Lord have mercy. He's ruining the brand. This is going to ruin the tour. What tour? The world tour. Guys, we have come to the end of today's morning report. Once again, if you enjoyed the episode, please don't hesitate to give it a like on your way out. We do also go live every single weekday morning at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So make sure to check out the live section of my YouTube channel. And tomorrow and Friday's episodes are already pre-programmed. All you have to do is hit the bell so that you'll be notified when I go live. Okay, you guys, take good care of yourselves, and I'll see you in tomorrow's episode. I am going to the mailbox because I also had Olaplex delivered to me. I said, oh girl, you're going to splurge on your hair this year because I am tired of my hair breaking and being damaged. So I ordered some Olaplex #3. I'm going to go scurry over to the mailbox to go ahead and pick that up. I'm so excited. Take care, you guys, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.